My name is Cristina Caprioli, and I have been working on, with, and in choreography for the longest time. That said, you might assume that I am a choreographer, but I resist that definition. I don't think that I am anything. The work is choreography. So I am devoted, interested, and thrilled by choreography as a practice, as a way of entering the world and looking at the world. That's what I do, is not who I am. Choreography, or I should say working on, in, and with choreography, to me has always been, but most specifically the past 10 years has been a multiple practice with different materialities, different or various medium and various languages, and yet on the same topic. So it's not that working on choreography shifts intention and motive when it shifts materiality. Rather, it transfers its own motive and intention to different materiality, discourses, languages, and practices. It's not that it becomes different things, different choreographies. Is one and the same choreography, but it appears and manifests through different languages and through different modes of expression. Choreography is something that really wants to move, for instance, from the body to the space, from the space to the soundscape, from the soundscape to the text, from the text to the object. And it's not to be diverse. It's really the opposite. It's to really delve into one specific topic. Try not to fall for the trap of being too direct. My interest is elsewhere in all the gestures and all the forms and circumstances that thrive in between before we actually understand what they are. There is something quite vibrant and very striking in what kind of moves and what kind of moods come out of a moving body, choreographed body, that is not concerned with being looked at or having to convince somebody about what he or she are doing. And this is quite difficult in a situation where you actually are performing for a bunch of people that maybe you never met before. And there is always kind of almost a fear of not being understood. But if you can overcome that fear, I think that something extraordinary comes, and it's almost a psychoanalytical process where you keep talking, and through that, eventually you can step back from the circumstances and the world around you and forget that you are looked at. And that's when you are at the most visible. You cannot not look at it as an audience, but you don't know why, because it is not, doesn't want anything from you. You begin to pay attention to peripheral moves or to the relation between two bodies. That's also what changes the relation between attention, focus, and sight. So you don't need to stare at something to pay attention to it. Your sight can move in the image in front of you, but you keep focus. Eventually, you have pieces or choreographies that have no specific beginning, middle, and end. You can find a beginning in several places, and you could go on for 2 days or just 10 minutes. Things from the past are always present, but also things yet to come are always present. And whatever is now, I think the idea of now is over-reclamated, is the antefuturum and the post-past, you know. It's just a crossing point. It's the turn, you know. It's the actual turning from here to there. This here, this action is the now. And you couldn't do it without these two directions. What I mean with continuum is not doing, is thriving on one and the same motion for the longest time, and not working chronologically from not knowing to knowing, or from preparation to finished product, but to rearrange, to keep having a critical scrutiny, to keep having a backing off and moving towards, and feel that there are several ways to go at any moment. With my colleagues and when we work, and sometimes maybe they get a bit tired of me leaving all the windows open all the time and not fixating too much, because I want things to stay alive in their potential. That's maybe what I mean, to keep working with potential and not exhaust potential by saying this is the result. If you think that you're not working for the premiere, we could have premiere every day. Every day that you do a rehearsal, that we practice this thing, this is the performance of the day. So there is no more rehearsal, there is only doing it. I believe more in really memorizing, and copying, if you wish, to have a model, to really have already a score that is properly written, is not just instructions. And then from there on, you can, by performativity, it can move in all directions. But you always have a basic shape, form, and context. The intention is also always not on producing a lot, but catching something that's worth manifesting. This approach to choreography that I've been chasing, maybe, or immersed in for the past 10, 15 years, that tries to rearrange the terms and the conditions of both the appearance of dance, but also of its own disappearance, but also of the relation, the exchange economy with the audiences, and who is the audience, and why aren't they dancing? I am particularly fond of the spaces where dance is proposed not to be, how can I say, where audiences are not sitting in one place and get one chance to see, to perceive or experience this event from one's perspective. I believe that dancing not only benefits from, but also needs to be looked at or experienced from at least 3 perspectives. So it's really parallactic view. We try also to provide the circumstances and the opportunity for audiences to, or we encourage them to come many times to see the same thing or to participate in the same thing. You have people who have worked on an idea, on a piece, on a aesthetic outcome for months and months, and then audiences then come to experience this, and they stay for 1 hour or whatever the length of a piece. I am very fond. I think this encounter should happen, but I am absolutely convinced that if you base this encounter on exchange of money, that is, the performer sells its own presence, and the audience buy the possibility to experience this present. That predetermines a really dangerous kind of exchange, because it's no longer about response on equal terms. Here you have people are anxious to be able to actually sell what they had promised. And then you have a kind of aggressivity, I would almost call it, from audiences that want worth for their money. I have been promoting within our own activities, and we also have been able to do so for now some time, free entrance. Dance is still, and especially dance of this kind, is still kind of not, it's not popular culture. It's quite limited interest, and if we are also at the same time constantly asked to increase visibility, increase accessibility, and we should get more audience. And this we do this way, because it begins to move from being a strange kind of art to become culture. I don't know if I've been always nervous or just very energetic, something in between that. But also extremely shy, and with the time, I am 69 soon. I feel that I need to back. I keep backing off instead of walking forward. I back off, not to step away from the world, but actually to see it. I am very intrigued and still thrilled. It's pleasure also. I just love dancing, watching it, doing it, or thinking about it, or working on it. And I really don't know why. And I think for the longest time I tried to figure out why. And now I don't pose that question. I just try to embrace it and use it as a fuel for continued work. And it has sustained me for 50 years, and I hope it will continue to do so. I think it will. I always need to have sort of a physical, real-time experience or whatever topic is at stake, and that keeps me moving. And of course, I can feel that it's decaying. But to me, movement in choreography is not like when it's perfect and in a certain age. So I used to say that maybe at the end I will just dance with my fingers, but it will be choreography.